Peace, y'all. Happy May. It's now May 2nd. Back out in the garage. We'll call this RPM update. Good news, bad news. Good news is our package from Mondo showed up before they ever sent me a tracking number. I did get the new CRG tank, so we're super excited about that. We also got us some new rotors. New rotors, old rotors, new adapter that goes on the hub, new brake pads, and a pile of little clips, E-clips, the circle clips, just because, and a couple of O-rings, although there's only one, sorry about that, between right and left side of the rear caliper. We got extras just so we got them. I know we could have got them at the hardware, but I think they were like 5 cents a piece or something. So that's the good news. The parts are here. Went out today and spent $53.38. $53.40. $53.40. Can you see that? On nuts and bolts. One, to go through the extra 1/4-inch plate, through the motor mount, the stock standard motor mount, through that extra 1/4-inch plate into the engine. So we had more than just, you know, a 1/4 inch of thread up into the motor. So we got some longer bolts there. We also got a bunch of longer hardware for the rear brake cassette and mounts. The longer bolts for the engine mount. Or these were for, this is for the cassette that also has the spacer and the bracket for the brake caliper, right? So of course we couldn't find these. They had enough of, they had these 3 long ones, but they didn't have 6 to do the other 2 cassettes. So I had to buy metric flange bolts, which by the way are cheaper. Nice, they come with a nice flange on the hex head. They're probably only grade 5 bolts instead of the grade 8-ish standard case hardened Allen bolt, but it is what it is. At least I got all the same stuff, you know, and it's all new. We got new nuts and washers and all that happy stuff, right? So what's the bad news, Robert? Well, the bad news is, first and foremostly, the cassette doesn't fit inside here like it's supposed. Well, I guess it does kind of. The bolt pattern is not the same. Not sure if you can see that, but it's not the same. I thought it was the same when I eyeballed the brake bracket to the bolts that were in the other cassette. Let me see if I can get you a better angle. I'm gonna take a knee here, folks. That's right, Big Daddy. Oh, taking a knee. Let's see. It doesn't matter which direction this thing goes. See, that looks like it fits, but you can see on the outside edge, outside, the widest point of the slot is wider. See, we're good on the bottom, but you look at the top and we're not wide enough. So that's the bad news. We got work to do. There's a little bit more bad news to this, but it's just a matter of modification. The bearing flange won't go through here either. You follow? That right away told me that the cassette bolt pattern wasn't right. Because if we simply just open this up for this to drop down in there, we're going to come closer to the inside, right, of this slot. Which means that bolt pattern's got to be bigger because you want at least that much beef there, right? So, what are you going to do, Robert? What can you do? Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. I'm telling you, it just seems like we're the bug a lot more times than we're the windshield lately. But what do? That's what we do here. We modify go-kart stuff. That's what the RPM page on Facebook says, right? Speed Sport. Mom always said, if you don't have something nice to say, you don't say anything at all. So right now, I do have some more good news. I sent out a couple text messages this afternoon. Thanks to Frank Dolly, who answered. I'm looking for a pipe so I don't have to recut one of my pipes. I have multiple, 4 pipes, but they're all cut to fit the lay-down cart. We cut it on the weld of the cones, then rotated the cones to fit the go-kart and then welded them back together. And that gives you enough trouble as it is, right? Welding on a used pipe, because you get that, even though you grind and clean and sand, and when you cut it apart and you sand, you clean all the carbon and stuff from your 2-stroke oil out of your pipe. It's not like welding a new pipe, that it's just weld and go. You start welding and going on a used pipe like that, and boom, next thing you know, you blow a hole in it. Or it starts to spit and spatter, and it burns a hole in it. So I sent a couple text messages out. Frank, of course, being the good man that he is, a good friend that he is, they got a couple of carts. I guess they're not going to drive him right away. So he said you could borrow a pipe. I could loan you one if that's what was holding you up, which is cool. And we also sent the same message to Joe Barth, who said, yeah, I got a pipe. It needs some welding though. So I wrote back, cracked? You know, how much do you want for it? He sends me back a picture. It looks like it's been run through a buzzsaw. But thanks, Joe. We're gonna go pick that pipe up. It looks like somebody ran it across a table saw with a dado blade on it. You know, I mean, it's got a hole in it this wide, like the chain came out, or something just chewed a nice big fat 1-inch slot in it, you know. He says, you know, it's still a good pipe. You could patch up, fix it, use it. I said, you know what? That sounds a little easier to do than cutting cones, rotating cones, and trying to re-weld a pipe we've already welded on. So that's what we'll do sometime over the weekend. Saturday night when I take the kids back down to Roseville. Going to pick them up Friday after school, pick up some stuff from the old garage in Roseville, bring the kids and the stuff back out here Saturday. Going to run Bray around the parking lot with his new gearing on his go-kart and see how he handles that and how he likes that. And then we'll probably get us some grub, head out to Waterford, pick up the pipe from Joe, then head to Roseville to drop the kids off Saturday night. Brooklyn and Braden got baptized a week or two ago, and he is now going to participate in his first communion, to take communion at church. I know the churches that I've attended have always said if you're not a believer, you shouldn't partake in it because it is a form of worship. And if you're not a believer, you know, it really doesn't make any sense for you to do it. But super excited for Braden to be able to get involved with everybody. Yeah, so would have liked to take them. The plan was to take them out to Lansing on Sunday after riding the go-kart in the parking lot on Saturday and meeting some kids. They call it the 206 Sportsman, which is basically your cadet 206 class. They have a 206 Junior as well, but that's a little bit older kids. Or maybe it's called Junior Sportsman. It's 8 to 12-year-olds in with 206s. So we wanted the kids to go out and have some popcorn, some ice cream, right, some hot dogs, and hang out at the racetrack and meet some parents and some kids and just ask them what they think about it. You know, I mean, can you just go and have fun, or you have to be all serious with a $3,000 helmet and paint job? You know, that's it. That's really where we were going with all that. But they got plans at church on Sunday, which is cool. No, I mean, I'm all good with that. Put church first, put God first, put Jesus first, and the toys will always be here. They come out and ride these things anytime they want. So that's it for the good news, bad news. Bad news is I'm not going to be able to just start bolting parts on, man. Dang it. How bad do you want it, Big Daddy? I want it, I do. And we're going to shut the lights off because we ain't going to get after it tonight. I'm too tired. It's already about 5:45. Wife's out of town. She's in Florida for the weekend, spreading her dad's ashes in the St. Johns River, his last request. So she's finally going to be able to put that whole legacy to rest. And happy for her. That's been tough on her, and having to handle all that for her sisters and stuff. So Godspeed, God bless. Hang in there, y'all. It'll get better. Cinco de Mayo coming. We'll have to do a video just because. Talk to y'all. Godspeed, God bless. Hang in there. I don't know what's next.